We're back at Poke Nation. Wow. I get in trouble if I wear a shirt, and this guy comes out looking like it's Christmas Eve or something with his sweater.
Well, the thing is I wanted to just try to dress a little bit down today because I didn't know if you'd have a jacket clean. So I kind of felt bad for you. Took a chance, tried to dress down, and, here we go.
A little rain and all this happens. Jim Gazzolo, Heath Schroyer, this is Poke Nation. A weird weekend in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. I had to work a lot this weekend. You had baseball win 2 out of 3. Yeah, they are all of a sudden in 7th place in the league. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Including a bizarre but wild walk-off grand slam by Cooper Hacks. Mm-hmm. He had 2 home runs. Softball wins 2 out of 3. They are now 1 win away from a 3rd straight conference championship. Yeah. That will happen this weekend if they can get a win. So a lot of things happening, but I want to get to this first. Brendan Murray's coming to play basketball here, former LSU guy. Mm-hmm. You're close on at least 2 other guys I know of. Mm-hmm. You have
Sincere Parker.
Sincere Parker, I was going to get to him.
Sorry. Yep.
You have all of a sudden, I'm talking to people, and they're talking about you guys are starting to establish what could be a Power 5 type recruiting class, or Power 4, I guess, in basketball, but a smaller version of that. Mm-hmm. Do you feel that vibe?
I think that men's basketball right now obviously has an unbelievable amount of momentum. The kids want to play for Coach Wade, but also he is, I mean this sincerely, he is relentless. His staff is relentless on the recruiting trail. But I think that the one, there's a lot of things, but one thing that doesn't get talked about, I think, a lot is obviously Coach Wade, kids want to play for him. There's a lot of kids that want to do that. But every kid that's come in here, the kid from Arizona State, all these kids that's come in here are blown away by our facilities, blown away by our town and our community. So that's been really neat because, again, you have another, group of kids that's going to leave here like Shahada Wells and go, man, McNeese is...
And be able to do something with that.
100%. So that's where this momentum is going. And look, I'm really, really excited. And Coach Wade, I remember as soon as we walked out of the locker room when we were in Utah, he said, we got to get better. And and he has been driven ever since.
Oh, no, it's an amazing thing. I think that the thing that gets me is, and I tried to tell people this for the last 2 or 3 years when they were down on the programs and that, I kept saying, you got to understand, kids aren't going to come here when you're rebuilding. Mm-mm. You have to have the facilities in place so you can show them because they don't care what it looks like in 3 years if they're gone next year. No. They have to be a part of it.
Exactly right, and especially with the portal. With the portal and all the things that's going on. I mean, you have to be set and ready to go. That's why the locker room was so important for football. Yeah. We're going to talk soon here about the new weight room that's coming. All those things have to be in place, and
but they can't just be drawings.
No,
there has to be some hard steel going 100%. Up and in.
Exactly right.
And I think that's going to play over. You're seeing it in football now. Football is a little different, but they just signed their 14th FBS recruit. Mm-hmm. They are now number 2 on the FCS level, the Tennessee Martin, mm-hmm. which ironically is where the last guy came from. Yep. But all of a sudden we've gone from a program where people were running from because of the hurricanes and the disasters and the lack of facilities to a place where people are running to mm-hmm. because it's been replaced. Yeah. I've said this and people didn't believe me and I didn't want to sound lip about it, but once you got through the tragedies of the hurricanes and that, it really has been a benefit because a lot of things have come new.
For sure. I mean, look, I never want to go through it again. No. It's just brutal, but it has allowed us to really take a step back and
press the reset button
and grow and be better and be, catch up to the 21st century, if you will, in a lot of ways. So that's been great. And look, and I think that, revamping, like we're football, okay? When we revamped the staff and we brought Aaron Ingram in and we talked about very, very hard conversations that I had, with coach and the staff about this is where we're going to go. This is what we need. Like, but it's paid dividends. And same thing with women's basketball. You know, you're starting to see, you know, kids from locally that's coming back. And to your point, one, it's been an emphasis, but two, they're looking around saying, hold on, man, this is back. Like, they want to be a part of it. Kids coming in as freshmen saying, hey, in 4 years, you're going to get a locker room. Those days are over.
No, because they don't care, because they're not going to be here in 4 years.
Exactly right.
And if they are here in 4 years, something went wrong in their eyes. No, and what you're seeing is, especially the kids from Lake Charles that left, I know one or two kids that left Lake Charles that told me one of the reasons why they left and didn't look at McNeese was they wanted to get out of a house that was destroyed.
100%.
They wanted to get, they didn't want construction workers walking in and out of their house like they were for years. They just wanted somewhere it was already done for them.
Absolutely.
And now they see it done, they see what it's become, and they're like, I'd like, now maybe I'd like to be a part of that.
You know, right after the hurricanes came, I remember filming a little brief video, if you will, about how McNeese Athletics is going to come back and we're going to be bigger and better than we've ever been before. And we are. And we're on the cusp of that right now.
It's an amazing change that I did not expect this quick. But we'll see if it leads to a softball championship this week. We'll talk to James Landreneau first and Shaelyn Sanders after that to talk about this upcoming weekend and what it could mean to McNeese softball after this on Polk Nation.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Serving the community of Southwest Louisiana since 1954 and a loyal supporter of McNeese State University for over 30 years, Southwest Beverage has provided scholarships to students, supported athletic programs, and sponsored the Banner Series since its inception. We pride ourselves on being the premier beverage supplier in Southwest Louisiana, offering an extensive portfolio of beer, spirits, and non-alcoholic beverages. We're Southwest Beverage, and we want to say thank you for your support.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
If you're frustrated with your bank and feel like this when you leave, make the move to Lakeside Bank. Voted best bank in the People's Choice of Southwest Louisiana. At Lakeside, the sun is shining, we have the best personal banking, and our customers are always smiling. Find your way to a brighter financial future. Bank happy. Bank Lakeside.
Welcome back to Polk Nation. Coach Landreneau, welcome back, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. All right, well, we're coming down the stretch.
Yeah.
We have one series left here at home this weekend, and we're a game or so away from clinching this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Heath, it'd be really nice. It'd be nice to be able to focus on that, but right now, our focus does have to be on a good Louisiana Tech team that we're going to play tomorrow, and we're excited to be able to close out the regular season at home. Our fan base has been tremendous for us all season long. We feel like we've played pretty well at home, so to be able to wrap up, especially for our seniors, their last game, to be able to do it at home is going to be special.
So what does, and obviously we do have a big one against La Tech. It's an in-state game.
Yeah.
But what would another regular season championship mean to you in this program?
Yeah, for me, I don't think it's for me as much as it is what I really respect for our players. Because we, as a coach, how hard it is to be able to accomplish those things. Yeah. And for our senior class to go out and realize what they have done year after year is one of the hardest things to do, is to do it, repeat, sustain success. And so for me, it's the skill set that they learn to be able to do that year after year that's going to prepare them for life after softball, right? They're ready for the workplace because you got to be good every single day, years in advance, not just one season. So that's what's the real meaning. If we could accomplish that goal is send them off. And, they've worked extremely hard to put themselves in this position. And that's been the message for this last week is enjoy it, because you've worked to put yourself in this as a competitor. This is all you ever asked for, is to be in the championship position, and that they will be this weekend.
Yeah.
First game this weekend is 6 p.m. Friday night.
Yeah.
You get to play Southeastern,
Yeah.
who probably has a little sting from last year still on you guys. Are you surprised with how the league is different, though, this year? And it's not, especially when you go to the tournament, it's not just two teams.
Right.
Corpus has pitching.
Yeah.
Nichols beat Southeastern 2 out of 3. This is a completely different looking league than a year ago.
Absolutely. I think our athletic directors in the league have done an outstanding job of hiring good coaches. And you could see in the play, with Justin's be able to do it at Nichols and get his team to buy in and recruiting-wise. And, at Corpus, what they're doing, obviously got an excellent pitcher, former pitcher of the year, and she was outstanding all weekend. Runs were hard to come by. And, UIW is, she kind of revamped that system up a little bit, and they've been competing well. So there's a lot of good teams, and you see it in the scores reflected out the league.
So a couple years ago, we talked about the fact that in order to start getting the two bids, you talked about you needed to see the conference get better.
Yeah.
How close is that to happening, do you think?
Well, I think it's the best year we've had in conference, because I'm not sure where we're at right now, RPI, with everyone, but I know we had 3 teams in the top 100. And so I don't remember seeing that in the past. So I know, both us and Southeastern are probably in the top 60s. And UIW at one time was, like I said, in the 90s, and I think Nichols was kind of on the cusp as well. So it's good. I mean, when we first got in the league, when I first started out at McNeese, I think we were in the high 20s RPI-wise. I think we're down to 13 or 14. So we're doing a better job of putting ourselves in a position to maybe be a 2-bid league soon.
Well, and don't you see, you mentioned like the athletic directors, but I know, because I'm in those meetings, that the investment that people have made in softball, when I'm in those meetings, they all talk about our facility and this and that, and like, how do we catch McNeese? And it's nice to be able to, I think, and anxious to hear your comments on it, about the investment that the league is making into softball.
Yeah, I think what you're starting to see now is, obviously attendance has gone up in the sport, TV ratings are going up, 100%. And I think that's the biggest thing. Look, let's be real, our game's a quick game. It's easy to get on a good time slot, and you can get more games in. And so I think that, with the World Series kind of set that tone with the ratings that they're getting, and the sport is getting out to more people now compared to, it's still relatively new sport compared to college athletics, right? I think 83 was the first year at Division I softball. So the sport itself has grown in popularity in the country, and people kind of taking advantage of it right now. So it's really good for our young athletes to be able to be a part of this now.
How different of a team are you today than you were expecting to be? You had a lot of injuries take away some players that you thought you were going to count on. A lot of freshmen step up. A lot of pitching step up. How different are you?
Yeah, you're talking about preseason? Yeah, preseason, we are different, because you never expect freshmen to come in and contribute the way Lexi Dibley is, and Samantha Mundine, and lately Bella Perez had to step up and fill in a role for Emily Phillips. And look, we had a lot of confidence in Shaelyn coming in. We figured her and Ashley together would be a really good combination. Ashley going out, Shaelyn has just been excellent for us, and you guys will get to talk to her. But I mean, she's the backbone of our team right now. But she's a great example of the last 2 years, just working her tail off to get in this position, put herself, the old Tony Robichaux used to always say, you got to work while you wait. And she wasn't getting the bulk of the innings, and she went through a little bit of injury last year. But man, to see her just step up, and she's ready for the moment every week. And look, she gives us a swinging chance at every game she plays, and she pitches.
So what do you expect for the crowd this weekend?
Look, we're going to do our best. I know I'm going to give it boss and try to promote the heck out of it, make sure we can kind of fill that staff. We'd like it to be a regional type atmosphere, because there will be a champion that's crowned this weekend.
Right.
And it will be on the same field. It's not going to be someone else. So I think that's the exciting part. I don't know if that's ever happened in our league, where the final game came down to a championship and the two teams were playing each other. So that's going to be exciting times for everybody. Hopefully the community comes out and supports like they have been, and maybe more so. And then I know for our athletes to be able to play at home and do that, it's going to be exciting times.
Well, last year it ended with a Reese Rania walk-off.
That's right.
So if it gets more exciting than that, it'll be something.
Those games are always tough in general, so adding this kind of excitement to it's going to add some extra excitement.
And they're the biggest rival because they're Hammond America. Come on.
Yeah.
When we get back, we'll talk to Shaelyn Sanders about her year after this on Poke Nation.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us.
Welcome to Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where every dish is crafted with fresh ingredients bursting with flavor. Make your date night unforgettable with our authentic Mexican dishes in a cozy and unique setting. Experience our warm and welcoming staff dedicated to ensuring your dining experience is nothing short of exceptional. Unwind at our bar with weekly drink specials perfect for any occasion. Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where great food, people, and drinks come together.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
We're back with Shaelyn Sanders, ace pitcher at McNeese State this year, senior. And in the first segment there, your coach talked about how you waited your turn. How was it to wait your turn behind two star pitchers last year, kind of get your moments? You were 7-1 last year, but kind of have to wait for your time.
I mean, my first year here, I came from a junior college, so I was kind of expecting more just to learn that year. And obviously I wanted to pitch, but I knew that there's two great pitchers in front of me. So that year I knew that it was more about learning. And I feel like last year I had a little bit of an injury at the beginning of the year, and then it was kind of hard for me to come in after they just had an outstanding year last year. So I feel like that was hard, but it was also a big learning moment for me just to learn from them and see how they react on the field. So I feel like that was a big part of getting me to where I am right now, just being patient and continuing to work.
Now, you don't like to call yourself an ace. You say it's the whole staff and that. But you are getting the ball in the clutch games. What's that like, and what's the difference now for you as a focus goes as you move forward and the opportunity it's been for you?
I mean, I love getting the ball whenever I get to go into pitch. So it's more of just an experience, and I look at it as I haven't gotten to do this the past 2 years, so it's just take advantage of the moments that you get. And, if I don't get the job done, I know that the other pitchers on the staff will.
Okay, so I want to get to the brass tacks here. Okay, so you were at Blinn Junior College. You obviously had a lot of people recruit you. What made you had two obviously pitchers ahead of you that were very good. What made you decide to come here?
Well, it's actually a funny story.
See? I knew there was going to be a story behind it.
So I went to Blinn for 1 year, and I was already committed to go back for my second year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my coach ran into Coach James at a softball tournament, and they needed a pitcher. So my Blinn coach called me and was like, hey, the McNeese coach needs a pitcher. Send them your videos. Well, I barely pitched at Blinn. I played second base and shortstop. So he was like, send your videos. So I was like, okay. So I sent it to Coach James, and I sent him my number. And I was like, just reach out whenever you're ready to call. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna call you tomorrow at this time. So I was going on a family vacation, and I was like, okay, we need to pull over at this time because he's calling me. We pull over, and I'm just waiting on a phone call, never get one. So I was like, well, I guess he didn't want me that bad. So we keep going, and my parents are like, did he ever call you? And I was like, no. And I was like, let me email him back. So I was like, hey, Coach James, I waited on a call. I never got. And he's like, I'm glad you reached out because I called you, and I think you gave me the wrong number. So I gave him the wrong number. And then he called me, invited me to a camp, and I came to the camp, went on a visit after, and then the next day I called and committed to come back here.
That's awesome. So when you came on campus for camp, what was besides, giving coach the wrong number and him still, so that was kind of fate a little bit, but so when you came on campus, what sold you on coming?
I mean, it was just exciting because I already planned on going back. I'd already paid my rent for the dorm I was going to stay in. So I think it was just like coming, and then it was just like, I think it was more of a God thing. Like I knew that like everything was already set to go back, but everything was pulling me this way to come here. So it was kind of just like something in my heart telling me like, okay, like it's crazy that this is the opportunity you're getting, even though you're supposed to be here. But it kind of was just like a God thing pulling me here.
That's great. So, you know, obviously this program has had a great deal of success. You know, and I get asked this all the time, and I think sometimes it's the players that really, it's always about the players. But what is it about this program that, in your perspective, continues to have the success it has?
I think we set high standards each year, so it's like we always have something that we're reaching for. And like at Blend, the program I was at before, like I know I was only there for 1 year, but there was never a time where we were like, oh, like we're reaching to be like conference champions. Like I don't feel like we were like setting those goals high, and it's like here I feel like we accomplish a goal, like we're always going to set one to go higher.
The interesting thing for you is we live in a world where transfer portal is the top. Kids that want to play right away. You were willing not to go somewhere else, but to stay and wait for your chance with no promise of a chance. What made you do that, and what do you think that benefits kids staying?
I mean, I feel like whenever you stay at a program, you have the opportunity to continue to grow, especially in this program. It's like we talk about it, like work while you wait. So I just think talking about that the past 2 years, it gave me like, I don't know, something in my mind like told me just stay, like wait it out, like keep working hard, it's gonna come. So.
And now, do you have another year left, or are you done?
I don't, I'm done.
So you're done. So you're one of the seniors getting weird weekend because it's a championship weekend and a senior weekend. How emotional do you think it'll be?
I mean, I know I'm excited going into it. I think I'll be a little more emotional after it's over, but right now I'm just excited.
Okay, so going into this last weekend, you know, it's for all the marbles, the regular season championship. You're obviously going to get the ball. What do you think, okay, Coach Landreneau's message is going to be before the game, before the series? What do you think that's going to be? You've been around him long enough. What's it going to be?
I mean, he's going to tell us that Southeastern's a hard team, but every day, like, it just matters who scores the most runs. So it's just like we have to go out there and play the best game that we can. If we play the best softball that we can and leave it all out there, there's nothing else that we can do. So.
There you go. He's going to say win one. Just win one. All you got to do is win one. When we come back, we'll get Coach's final thoughts after this on Polk Nation.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Serving the community of Southwest Louisiana since 1954 and a loyal supporter of McNeese State University for over 30 years, Southwest Beverage has provided scholarships to students, supported athletic programs, and sponsored the Banner Series since its inception. We pride ourselves on being the premier beverage supplier in Southwest Louisiana, offering an extensive portfolio of beer, spirits, and non-alcoholic beverages. We're Southwest Beverage, and we want to say thank you for your support.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
If you're frustrated with your bank and feel like this when you leave, make the move to Lakeside Bank. Voted best bank in the People's Choice of Southwest Louisiana. At Lakeside, the sun is shining, we have the best personal banking, and our customers are always smiling. Find your way to a brighter financial future. Bank happy. Bank Lakeside.
We're back. Okay, softball's a big thing. football, we've talked about the recruiting. I want to ask you about this, though.
Okay.
Where is this school going, do you think, as a conference? You're adding one. I think Stephen F. Austin's coming back. You're a little more, meh.
Okay.
I think more want to come in. How many do you want in? And do you want to see more Texas, or do you want to see Louisiana? Do you want to see it spaced out?
I think we're in a really good number right now with Rio Grande Valley because it's.
But you're a non-number.
Correct. Just because from a basketball standpoint, you can play 20 league games.
Yeah.
And you got 4 home and 4 on the road. Now, if Stephen F. Austin wants to come in, it'd be hard to not, say, hey, I think it really strengthens our brand. But at that point, I think we're in a really, really good place. And I think that, everyone wants to get bigger and bigger. But once you get bigger than that, then you guys start thinking about divisions and those things. And but, kudos to our commissioner. Look, very similar to when I took over with the Hurricanes, right? Everyone's like, oh, my gosh, and we're back bigger and better than before. When Chris took over the league, everyone was running from the league.
Oh, yeah.
And
including you guys.
Yeah, and Chris and I obviously brokered a deal, and we decided to stay, which, in essence, saved the league. And then we were able to, he and I...
Probably destroyed another league, but yes.
But he and I kind of, really have worked together, and we have a great relationship. But what he's been able to do to not only save the league, but strengthen the league, recruit people to come in, I think he is as talented or more talented than any commissioner in the country.
Well, he's a far cry from the previous commissioner. That's all I'll say.
Well, and look, and Tom had his run too. The shelf life on these jobs is not 20 some years, right? So I think Tom Burnett did an unbelievable job. You look what the league was at one point in time, and you know what? And at some point in time, Chris's shelf life will need. It's same thing with me. Like it's life. It's evolution. But Chris, I'm telling you, he is really, really talented, and I think he's as talented. Look, how many commissioners in the country could have taken the Southland at that moment, and 3 years later put this product out there?
No, there'd be,
I'm just telling you.
And it's look at softball, look at baseball, men's basketball especially. The improvement and investment in the league.
Yep.
It's a completely better league than it was. Now, football still got to get back to where it was. Part of that is you lost the Texas brands that were the big name Texas brands.
Right.
Somebody has to pick up that slack over on the Texas side. But the 3 other sports are much better than they were, and that's primarily because people have committed an investment. We've never seen the Southland invest in basketball like before. Part of that is you guys and setting a different bar, obviously, this year. But we're seeing actual coaches come in here. Before it was just next guy up.
Yeah, and I also think, too, that, on the basketball piece, and Chris and I have talked about it, the league as athletic directors have talked about it, there is nothing that can build a brand more than men's basketball in the NCAA tournament. It's just what it is. So for us to, we have to invest in basketball, and I'm hoping the league will, and other teams in our league will figure out how to invest in basketball, because it's only going to help us.
Yeah, that's the big thing. The league in general has to get better, because then we're going to see the 2 bids, the more bids. But as you see it, the bids aren't going to come because they expand the NCAA tournament.
No.
Your bids are going to have to come because you improve.
100%.
And this comes down to your question. How is scheduling, and how can you schedule? Are you too good to schedule teams?
I'll tell you, the scheduling right now is it's a bear. It really is. Coach and I talk about it almost every day. No one right now wants to play, but it is April, and I remind them all the time, our schedule probably won't get done until August, just because at some point in time, people are going to have to fill out their schedules, and we might be the only one left. So, but it's very, very difficult, but it's a great problem to have.
And are you going on the trip to the Virgin Islands?
Oh, absolutely. Of course I'll be there.
What if you're going to win a football championship that weekend?
Well, then I'll stay.
I'll take your spot.
I bet you will.
Virgin Islands? I'll go there for the weekend, Thanksgiving weekend. Next week, we'll talk a little bit more about it and see if the softball team won that 3rd straight championship on Polk Nation. here on CBS. We'll see you next week.